Hello, hello, lovely Year 2 designers and paper engineers. Today we're going to be designing the inside of our pop-up card. First, we're going to remind ourselves of two types of card we're going to make. We need some paper, some scissors, and our hands nicely warmed up because we've got lots of folding to do. Let's just practice the first technique. This is the bridges. Okay, there's two different types of cards you can make, the bridge or the steps. And this is the bridge. Now we start off by folding our paper in half, but because we're paper engineers, we make sure that the fold is really crisp. But that's not the end of it. We fold it back in the other direction and we press it down again. Do you remember? We always do two folds as paper engineers, one way and one the other. When you've done your fold, you cut up and make some flaps from the fold, cutting upwards. And you're going to do pairs of cuts so they're at the same height. There's one, and here's a taller one. Don't go any more than halfway up. There we go. Another two flaps cut, and the last two do some little ones. So it's a medium size, a large one, and a little one. And we just fold each one of those up. And we use our scissors to make it a nice crease, but then we're paper engineers, so we're going to turn these floppy flaps the other way up and fold them this way as well. So I want everyone to have a go at this. I've put two pieces of paper in. If you might want to stop the film, I want everyone to get the bridges cut out, and when you've cut them out, you poke them through, and this is why it's called a counter fold. Remember, because it goes against the original fold, it goes against it, and that makes our bridges for our pop-up. So everyone have a go at doing that, and then we can move on to having a go at the steps. Grab your second piece of paper, my paper engineer friends, and do our fold, matching up the corners, nice crease, rub our scissors over that to make it even better, fold it back in the other direction, run our scissors along again, and now we're ready to do our two cuts. It's two cuts like we did with the bridge, but this time one on one side and one on the other at the same height. So we're making one big step to begin with, and we fold it in both directions again, flappy flap, and this time we're going to cut again, but while it's folded up. So this is how we turn it into the steps. So I just bring my scissors in a bit from the edge and I match it on the other side, and I'm just bending that in one direction and folding, flipping it over and bending it again in the other direction. And this will make us some steps, 3 steps, one at the top, one in the middle, and one on the bottom. Now the middle one's the nice big step, and then we've got 2 smaller steps. So just wiggle your fingers in until you've got your step shapes, fold it down, press it down, and that will stay in that position for you. Okay, so you need to decide if you want to do steps or if you want to do bridges, because now we're going to move on to actually designing what we're going to do for our decorations. So there's 2 different worksheets. There's this one for designing the inside of your card called bridges. So that's like this with the 3 little bridges where you're going to put 3 different things. You've got a middle one, one on the end, and one on the other side, and then you've got the back of the card and the foreground of the card, and then you've got the steps one to choose from. So you can decide, do you want to go for the simpler bridges or do you want to go for the slightly more complicated steps? It's up to you. Let's have a look. I'm going to show you a quick design for the bridges one, and you're going to use black pen to draw on this, or you can start with pencil first if you're not confident, but I'm doing it in black pen so you can see. So the job here is to do a different landmark from all the way around the UK on each of these bridges. So I'm going to start with this middle bridge, and I think I'm going to do a famous landmark from London, which is in England, so it's the capital of England, and it's this tower here that everyone calls Big Ben, but it's actually called Queen Elizabeth Tower, and it's part of Parliament. And so I'm just going to sketch that in. And I'm not worrying too much about too much detail here. There's lots of pictures I've made for you on worksheets of all the different landmarks, and you can choose whichever ones you want there. I think I'm going to make this one 3 o'clock, so it's nearly home time. And when I've done this one, I'm going to move on to my next landmark, and I've chosen to draw one of my favourite giant sculptures in Britain, in the UK. This one called the Angel of the North, which is in Gateshead in the northwest of England. And so I'm just sketching that in there with its giant wings. It's a beautiful sculpture if you ever get the chance to see it. And then finally, on the last bridge, I'm going to draw one of the most ancient landmarks or monuments in the UK, which is this Stonehenge, built such a long time ago, thousands of years ago, over a very long time, by early humans and people in the Bronze Age of Britain. Okay, so those are my 3 landmarks that I'm doing on my 3 bridges. So that is the simpler version of this card. I'm then going to start thinking about what I want to put on the back of the card here. It's called the background, and then the foreground, which is at the bottom. So I've decided to write some words on there, which is fine, you can do that. But I also want it to look very celebratory, because we're welcoming people. We're saying, hey, the UK is our country, it's your country too, welcome to it. And so I've decided to put lots of balloons in there. Okay, so there's my bridge design. Just working that out, and now I'm going to have a go at the steps. So this one again is a little bit more complicated. I'm going to start off with the back step, the things that we're going to be sticking on there as our pop-up, and I'm drawing Jodrell Bank because I want something from around Manchester, and this is a landmark near to us. Jodrell Bank is part of the Manchester University, and it is a giant telescope, a radio telescope to look into space. And next thing I'm going to draw is a landmark from London again, the capital of England, and this is Tower Bridge, which is this famous bridge over the River Thames that lifts up to let ships go underneath. So I'm just drawing that in there. And as I say, use the worksheets with lots of landmarks on. And I'm not doing lots of detail, I'm just working it all out. So then this is my middle step, and I'm going to do the Blackpool Tower, because I think I'll do something near us again. Blackpool is not too far away, about an hour away from us, and this is Blackpool Tower. And what you need to do is you need to draw so that the middle step is like a bridge in itself, because it sort of goes down at the sides, along the top and down again. I'm just drawing a building in Belfast called City Hall, which is a big building. So Belfast is, of course, the capital of Northern Ireland, and you've been learning all about the capitals in geography. And this is Conway Castle in Wales. So I thought it'd be quite nice that we've got England, Wales there as well, and Northern Ireland. I haven't done a Scottish one. I'll have to have a think. Maybe you can do a Scottish landmark on yours. So again, just very roughly working out. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is maybe the idea of having pathways going up to all these different historic sites and things, so that the idea is you can make your way to these amazing landmarks and things. So you decide what your card's going to look like. You need to decide what your pop-up landmarks are going to be, but also what are you going to do with those backgrounds. And you might want to write in words, you might want to draw in pictures, but just work it all out, and make sure you put your name on your design so you don't get them muddled up with anyone else in your class. And that's it for today. I want you to get to the stage where you are ready to create your designs in your next lesson. Feel free to add colour if you want to add colour. If you get time to do that, that would be good. And bear in mind, you want to have it all finished, ready for the next lesson. Bye!